Stocks fell further at the start of trading today following Monday's sell-off, which, by the way, was Wall Street's worst day so far this year. As the White House tries to downplay concerns over the market, President Trump raised the stakes once again, announcing on social media that he was doubling the tariffs, which are set to take effect tomorrow on Canadian steel and aluminum coming into the U.S. Did want to say, to help us make sense of what we're seeing with the stock market here, joining me today is University of Maryland Professor of Finance, David Cass. It is so good to have you with us today, Professor. Thank you.
Thanks for having me.
I did want to mention, we're seeing these on-again, off-again tariffs, retaliations, cuts in the government. It's making people feel concerned that we are going to see a recession. I'm curious your thoughts on this.
Yes, until now, the outlook for a recession was extremely unlikely, but tariffs are introducing an enormous amount of uncertainty as to what will happen, where the economy will go. On top of it, certainly the layoffs and the federal government are not making people feel any better. And whenever there's a recession, stocks go down. And what's interesting, the last several recessions, all the recessions since World War II, the end of World War II, were basically caused by the Federal Reserve raising interest rates too far, too fast to fight inflation. And here, this will be, if we have a recession here, it'll be caused by something totally different, basically policy based on tariffs, which in turn, by the way, will certainly lead to more inflation.
Something that came to mind here is unless and until we know where the goalposts actually are when it comes to trade and tariffs, do you predict that the uncertainty is just going to continue to really drag on the markets?
Well, I think they certainly will for a while. I know last Friday, Secretary of the Treasury Bessent on another network spoke and said that the uncertainty will be resolved by early April. That was his statement. And it wasn't clear exactly which issues specifically would be resolved by then. I'm a little skeptical. Seems to me that the uncertainty would be likely to linger on for some time.
Well, I wanted to ask you this, what comes to mind here is just you try to make sense of all this, right? To what degree do you think this is a bit of a self-fulfilling prophecy? So if you think a recession is coming, then you stop capital expenditures, hiring slows down, and then you kind of corner yourself into a recession. Thoughts on that regard?
Yes, absolutely. And the uncertainty of what trade policy will be, tariffs, where a company may want to purchase its inputs from, or even locate a plant. This uncertainty is causing companies to hold back on investment. And by holding back on investment, this could indeed, it will definitely slow the economy down and could contribute to a recession.
Okay. Just, talking one-on-one, people get very emotional over their money, right? Understandable. There's a lot of fear around it when you feel like, you can't hold on to it. What is your advice to people who are worried not only about their wallets, their money, but their 401ks, things like that?
Well, my general advice in terms of investing in the stock market is to be long-term oriented. Disregard the noise, what's going on now. The S&P 500, which is a yardstick, a benchmark for investing in stocks, has gone up an average of 10% a year over the past 100 years. Now, there's a lot of volatility. There are many years that it goes down, but I would advise to just hold on, ignore the noise, look beyond where we are now, and I would expect things will look much brighter a few years down the road.
I think we needed that. I think we needed that vote of confidence, that do not panic. Look, we certainly appreciate your time. University of Maryland Finance Professor David Cass, thank you for being with us tonight.
Thanks again for having me.